Four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Jesse Irwin. Coming up this half hour, Frontenac faces off against Girard on the court. We'll have those highlights from the game. And for our something to talk about, we're heading into Valentine's Day weekend. We want to know, how did you meet your significant other? And if you're married, where did that proposal happen? You can also participate in our Insta poll. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. But first, let's check how Michael's Friday's going.
You're going to need multiple layers if you do have to go outside. Your best bet is actually to try to stay inside as much as possible, as wind chill advisories are in effect for that light blue until 10 a.m. See that darker color there through southeast Kansas? That's merely an extension of the wind chill advisory that lasts all the way into noon. Temperatures right now ranging from about 8 to 15, but it's the wind that makes the big difference as it whips in from the north. Freeman Health System sky camera 14 miles per hour, and that means the wind chill is -3. So when we talk about the wind chill advisories, whole bunch of negatives ranging everywhere, including Fort Scott right now down to 9 below. The cold front continues to penetrate into the deep south. And as we get through our Friday and head toward our afternoon, we are going to pick up some light flurries on the way. Temperatures not going to really change too much, get up into the 20s, but wind chills will remain single digits even during the afternoon hours. As we head into Saturday, early Saturday morning, here we go. We're going to skirt to the north and pick it up to the south as well. Now at north, that's going to be snow. Down to the south, keeping our eye on the pink and the freezing rain. That's going to play a large role in travel. And of course, we know we've got another system. This has become kind of not the four-state talker, but the entire Midwest talker as far as what's developing on Sunday out of the south, working its way through the 4 states here for Valentine's Day and President's Day. Jesse, we're going to break down that Pacific system that's actually hasn't really made land yet. And that's why our accumulation number's still up in the air as we await for it to move over the Rockies and head toward us. And also, too, going to unveil a little new thing for the Skywatch weather app to keep everybody informed as we head toward this system. That's pretty cool.
And you know, we watch these numbers go down and down as we head toward Valentine's Day. Is this the last dip we're going to see for the short term, or are you expecting another one heading into next week?
Nothing elongated as this. You got to go back to 2014, the last time we're going to see a span of this many days below freezing.
Whew. Okay. All right. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you keeping us in the loop. Well, former President Trump's defense team begins its arguments today in Trump's Senate impeachment trial. House managers serving as prosecutors wrapped up their case, urging senators to convict on the single charge of incitement of insurrection after the attack on the Capitol. They argue that the former president poses a future threat to democracy if he's acquitted and not barred from running for office again. Joplin's Olivia building might get some new life after all. The Joplin City Council will soon discuss a proposed investment for the redevelopment of the building. Coda REILLC out of Colorado is considering buying and developing the property, which was recently damaged in a fire which resulted in the roof collapsing. The company's asking the city for an investment agreement of up to $250,000. The agreement will be discussed at next Tuesday's council meeting. The Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 related deaths. The county says the patients were 3 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and one woman in her 70s. These latest deaths bring the county's total to 133. Missouri health officials say that they are optimistic that efforts to provide COVID-19 vaccines will expand soon, both in terms of increased vaccine availability and the number of approved vaccinators. Now, the head of the state health department says next month, Missouri expects to receive a significant amount of a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires only 1 shot. At the same time, vaccinations will begin tomorrow at some Missouri Walmart and Sam's Clubs, and the state will begin using retired healthcare workers to administer the shots. The positive message came as Governor Mike Parson complained to Missouri mayors about constant criticism in the media about the state's vaccination efforts. 2 masks rather than 1. They suggested wearing a close-fitting cloth mask over a close-fitting surgical mask, saying it offers more protection from the coronavirus. An expert from Freeman Health System says that advice is sound.
So the purpose of the second mask is not really to act as a twice the filter or a better filter, but it's to shut off those gaps. So what you're doing is you're enclosing the sides better, and that's going to make for a better filter.
For the latest coronavirus news, including CDC recommendations, just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Well, after an 18-hour manhunt, Parsons, Kansas police arrest a homicide suspect. They say that suspect is 29-year-old Malcolm Odom from Parsons. He was arrested at a house on the 1400 block of Partridge in Parsons. Now, authorities say he was found hiding under a couch. Police also say Odom shot and killed 22-year-old Levi Kendricks early Thursday morning. Police say Odom was out on parole and had a felony warrant issued for his arrest by the Kansas Department of Corrections. The Labette County Sheriff's Office is assisting in the investigation. With these cold temperatures set to get even colder, an area church is stepping up to help people in need. Carterville First Baptist Church has started a warming station in their sanctuary. People can come in to get warm, get a hot coffee or snack, and then leave with a blanket to take with them. Now, volunteers at the church say they wanted to help fill a gap since not many others are providing warming stations in the community.
That's another reason why we decided to open that up here, is like Webb City and Carterville and Oronogo, Carthage. Yeah, we don't really have much.
Our whole goal is just to care about people, and this is a small way to do it, just opening our doors, turning the heat up, and inviting people in.
The warming station is open from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., so the church is looking for more volunteers. You can learn how to get involved on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. In the meantime, it is 5:07.
All too important, and thank you to those volunteers and those donors, because as Jesse said, we are indeed going to get colder, and that's hard to believe because we've already got a wind chill advisory in effect for our Friday morning. We've seen now 9 below in Fort Scott, feels like 3 below in Webb and Carthage, and 5 below in Neodesha and in Parsons. Not much of a warm up today. Are experiencing some light flurries. Not going to pick up anything freezing as far as rain or drizzle, though, so that is a little bit of a positive. But we were talking about the importance of that warming station. Yeah, we're going to go from 18 down to a high of 9 on Valentine's Day.
This morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, highlights of 2 of the best girls basketball teams in Southeast Kansas that went head-to-head on the court last night. Plus, you may not have to quarantine if exposed to COVID-19 once you have the vaccine, and a special proposal just in time for Valentine's Day. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Two of the best girls basketball teams in Southeast Kansas squaring off. We had a top 10 battle last night. Pittsburgh Purple Dragons hit the floor to take on SEK rival Labette County. Pittsburgh coming in 5th in Class 5A. Labette County number 7 in 4A. First quarter, pass to Claire Carnahan under the net for the Grizz. Up and in. Labette County up by 8. Pitt's got to respond. Jackie Hall. Young girl Jackie Hall in the corner. Hall with the 3, but Dragons trail by 5 after 1. Second quarter, pass to Shelby Wilson. Nice little skip pass right there. Wilson hits the 3, tied at 16. And then Jackie Hall and Natalie Talent hit that net. Puts up 3-pointer. Grizz up 1 at the half. In the third, Anna Dean, pass the paint. Nice, quick little turnaround. Left-handed too. Labette leads by 7. Fourth quarter, Madison Brannon. She can fire. Game high 14 for Brannon. Labette County gets the win, 50-36.
You know, their demeanor is good. They're pretty resilient kids, and you know they're very unselfish, and they play well together. So that's the key there. You know, we've canceled, we've rescheduled. You know, through the whole season, it's just been up and down, and you know the kids are pretty resilient at this point.
Christy Snyder, truly one of the nicest coaches that make me miss my days in sports. That's not the only big girls game last night in Southeast Kansas. Frontenac Raiders hosting the Girard Trojans. Both these teams, they've been on a roll to start the year. Girard 10-2, Frontenac 9-1. Raiders on a 5-game winning streak. First quarter, Abby Butcher. Straight to the rim, nobody picks her up. Frontenac up 2 after the first quarter. Girard grabs the lead in the second. Faith Poland, launch it, rip it. Trojans go into the half, 26-25. In the third quarter, Michaela Osmus from the corner. Girard takes a 3-point lead in the fourth. Under a minute left. Still a 3-point game. Heather Arnett had 22 last night. Tough pull-up for Heather. 1-point game under 10 seconds. Frontenac down 2. A chance to tie or win. Poland picks off the pass from behind. She had 18 last night. Girard wins a thriller, 68-64.
Obviously, they're a good team. I saw that, one of the players was looking down to the block, and I knew that I needed to get in front of that ball, take it, seal the game. So it felt good to kind of get in front of that and seal for the win.
It's really fun to get together, once or twice a year and just have that slugfest. And each and every time we do it, it doesn't matter what the record is, it always ends up that way, really, really close, and somebody making a play at the end of the game.
Now, Pittsburgh State men, one of the hottest teams in the MIAA right now. Winners of 5 straight going into last night. But if they wanted to get to 6, they had to be on their best because they hit the road to face Northwest Missouri State. Northwest in first place in the conference, 15-1, ranked number 3 in the nation. Early on, Ryan Hawkins posts down low for the Bearcats. They score the first 4 points of the game. Hawkins on the wing stretches the lead to 7-2. Pitt State gets things going with Ethan Holloway. Out of Iola, bucket, foul, ties the game up. Holloway a team high 21. Then R.J. Lawrence, look at that, through the legs, launch it. Gorilla's got a 23-20 lead. Here comes Hawkins again. Oh, tough shot right there. All right, here we go. Oh my, one-handed for Diego Bernard. Northwest comes back, wins this thing 87-75. Now on the women's side, this thing was over, and it was over early. Pitt State would open the game on an 11-2 run. Now there's some Molly Hartnett baskets, but it's all PSU after that. Julia Johnson in the paint, she had a great night. Left-handed right there, 2 and the foul. Johnson extends the lead. Works down low, PSU, and then pulls away essentially in the first quarter. Johnson with a career night, 23 points, 9 rebounds. Tristan Gegg also added 14. Pitt State rolls 79-50. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, a new COVID variant concern.
The variant of COVID first discovered in the UK is spreading across the US. I'm Ian Lee with why health officials are so concerned.
Plus, so check out our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time for a little weather on the 7s. And before we jump into our wind chill advisories, I want to point out that we've got something. I want you to take advantage of this because not only do we have the dangerous cold today, but we've got another system digging itself in for Sunday into Monday. And so that's why we want you to grab your smartphone right now because I've got a quick and easy way for you to get the Skywatch 7 weather app. We keep on telling you how important it is, not only for this winter storm we've got coming, but remember, then we've got severe weather headed this spring. See that QR code right there on the right-hand side of your screen? So all you got to do is walk up, open the camera on your phone, and pop a picture of that thing. That's as easy as it is. And then it's going to go right to the Skywatch weather app for you to download. That's for your iOS, your Android devices. So once again, and we're going to run this throughout the course of the show. So don't worry if you're like, oh, I got to go grab it. We're going to bring it back. But once again, once you have that up, all you do is you open up the camera on your phone, just walk over your TV, click. Simple as that. Skywatch weather app, going to get you through the weekend, going to get you through the spring, going to get us into the summer where we'll finally have some warmth. Because right now we've got a wind chill advisory and we got negative numbers as low as -9 in Fort Scott, 3 in Carthage, and 6 in Independence. So as we talk about our pure temperatures, of course nobody even close to 32 degrees, as the wind chill advisories stretch from Oklahoma all the way to the Canadian border, the cool air, still waiting on that Pacific system that we've been talking about. It has not formulated as of yet. Highs today remain in the teens, flurries for tonight into tomorrow. Saturday, little snow skirts here, not widespread. Let's get to the good stuff. Here's what everybody's talking about. Sunday, system digs through Oklahoma and Texas, stalls, comes back up to the northeast. Going to give us a pretty good amount of snow, it looks like, for Sunday and into Monday. And the temperatures down to single digits for Valentine's Day and President's Day. Turn our attention now to the KOAM News Now Facebook page. Our Something to Talk About. Just in time for Valentine's Day, a Florida man surprises his girl with a special proposal. Amanda Dukes with the story.
Last Saturday was an ordinary day at Lake Eola Park, but for Lee Green, it was about to become anything but ordinary. I think I want to marry you. Green's two best friends, who lured her to the park for a girls' afternoon out, busted out into a dance. What was Lee thinking? In an interview with her now fiancé, Matt Pittleman, she says the minute she heard the song,
I knew what was happening, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. So my reactions in the video are completely genuine.
Lee was soon being pulled along by a growing flash mob of friends and family who'd come from all over the country. Even her own dad joined the surprise. But the most thrilling moment came when the crowd parted and Lee beheld Matt waiting with a ring. Just say I do. Matt proposed and Lee said yes.
You could see it clearly in the video. He says, "Will you marry me?" And I
nose was touched.
Yeah, I mouth yes. And that's before he got down on one knee.
Matt says they wanted to share their flash mob to provide some joy.
In this tough and really, unfamiliar world, just to bring an ounce or, a modicum of joy to somebody's lives.
I had a question.
Hey, can we see the ring?
Oh my God, yeah. Here.
Straighten it out.
This is the ring.
These two sure seem to have a lot of love and a thrilling start to a bright future.
I have the best family, friends, and fiance that I could ever hope for. I'm really happy.
Likewise.
Yeah.
KOAM News Now Facebook page. How'd you meet your significant other? And where did the proposal happen if you are married? Also, Valentine's Day plans, yay or nay? KOAMNewsNow.com/vote. Health Watch next.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, new guidance on quarantines has come out for those who are fully vaccinated against the coronavirus. And a new study by the CDC suggests there are two ways to better protect yourself and others from the virus. Mandy Gaither has the latest.
Fully vaccinated people who meet certain criteria will no longer be required to quarantine after an exposure to COVID-19. That's new guidance from the CDC. The criteria requires at least 2 weeks to have passed since the final shot. But the CDC says vaccine protection may wear off after 3 months. So people who have had their last shot 3 months ago or more should quarantine if they're exposed. Whether you're vaccinated or not, the CDC says it's still important to take public health measures like wearing a mask.
This is especially true with our ongoing concern about new variants spreading in the United States.
A new CDC study shares 2 ways masks can provide better protection. The practice of double masking, fitting a cloth mask over a medical procedure mask, and knotting the ear loops of a medical procedure mask so it fits snugly against the face.
In the breathing experiment, having both the source and the receiver wear masks modified to fit better reduced the receiver's exposure by more than 95% compared to no mask at all.
The CDC's also taking to the airwaves with a new public service announcement called Mask Up America, featuring famous movie scenes redone, the characters now wearing masks. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says people who have been vaccinated should still watch for symptoms for 14 days after they've been exposed to someone who is suspected or confirmed to have COVID-19. Well, a new study in the British Medical Journal finds COVID patients given blood thinners within 24 hours of hospitalization are less likely to die from the virus. Doctors believe blood clots in major veins or arteries cause some COVID deaths. Clinical trials are underway to determine if blood thinners will become standard treatment for COVID patients. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Wind chill advisories lasting all the way to 10 for the light blue. Those darker areas in southeast Kansas. That is merely an extension of the advisory that lasts all the way until noon. Here's what it feels like right now. We're now down to double digits in Iola, 11 below. Webb City at -3. And Independence now down to -7. High temperature today, teens. Stay inside if you can. Our roads, they're a little bit better, seeing as how we've been void of any freezing precipitation here for a couple of days. But on the 7-day forecast, you'll notice we're going to drop down to single digits over the weekend.
Good morning, I'm Jesse Irwin with your KOAM News Update. Missouri health officials say they're optimistic efforts to provide COVID-19 vaccines will expand soon, both in terms of increased vaccine availability and the number of approved vaccinators. The head of the state health department says next month, Missouri expects to receive a significant amount of a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires only one shot. After an 18-hour manhunt, Parsons, Kansas police arrest a homicide suspect. They say that suspect is 29-year-old Malcolm Odom from Parsons. Police say Odom shot and killed 22-year-old Levi Kendricks early Thursday morning. Police say Odom was out on parole and had a felony warrant issued for his arrest by the Kansas Department of Corrections. Now, here's Michael with a look at the forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. Wind chill advisories lasting until 10 a.m. for the lighter blue, the darker area simply meaning an extension of that same advisory until the noon hour. A frigid one outside. The best advice is to stay inside. Dangerously cold temperatures. If you do, remember, exposed skin can be damaged in as much as half an hour time, if not covered up or giving yourself a break during the inside. Colder as we head toward the weekend, single digits for Valentine's Day and President's Day. All the latest on the Skywatch weather app.
State's most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, Mr. Peanut is getting a new home in a $3.35 billion deal. And for our Something to Talk About on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, we're asking, how did you meet your significant other? And if you're married, where did that proposal happen? But first, to check on your forecast.
All right, we got, let's do a little housekeeping first. Bottom of your screen, complete list of closings. Would like to, there's a number of school districts that are on there. Do want to pass along the fact that Joplin R8 canceled on this Friday, a number of other schools as well. So KOAMnewsnow.com for not only our school closings, but also our road conditions. Now, roads are getting a little bit better because we've been able to avoid the freezing precip. We cannot avoid the freezing cold weather. Freeman Health System sky camera, temperature of 11, wind chill right now of -3. Look at these numbers at the top of the screen. Yates Center down to 11 below, for Nevada and Stockton at 5 below. Webb City, 3 below. So dangerously cold. It can really affect exposed skin. We have picked up some light flurries, a little bit of legitimate snow there up in the northwestern portion, and temperatures just pretty much stuck in the teens all day long, as good as we're going to see. For future track, as we roll through, the flurries persist on Friday into Saturday. Nothing too extreme, but we've been talking about the big one from Sunday into Monday. It's hard to place accumulation numbers as of yet because actually the big low has not made landfall. It's going to work in off the Pacific here throughout the course of the day. See how much moisture this thing can grab on its way here.
Man, it would sure be nice to see those temperatures go back up. It really would.
No.
Wishful thinking, right? Winter won't last
11
forever.
below.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, thanks, Michael. Former President Trump's defense team begins its arguments today in Trump's Senate impeachment trial. House managers serving as prosecutors wrapped up their case, urging senators to convict on the single charge of incitement of insurrection after the attack on the Capitol. They argue the former president poses a future threat to democracy if he is acquitted and not barred from running for office again. Missouri health officials say their optimistic efforts to provide COVID-19 vaccines will expand soon, both in terms of increased vaccine availability and the number of approved vaccinators. The head of the state health department says next month, Missouri expects to receive a significant amount of a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires only one shot. At the same time, vaccinations will begin tomorrow at some Missouri Walmart and Sam's Clubs, and the state will begin using retired healthcare workers to administer the shots. The positive message came as Governor Mike Parson complained to Missouri mayors about constant criticism in the media about the state's vaccination efforts. After an 18-hour manhunt, Parsons, Kansas police arrest a homicide suspect. They say that suspect is 29-year-old Malcolm Odom from Parsons. He was arrested at a house on the 1400 block of Partridge in Parsons. Authorities say he was found hiding under a couch. Police say Odom shot and killed 22-year-old Levi Kendricks early Thursday morning. Police say Odom was put out on parole and had a felony warrant issued for his arrest by the Kansas Department of Corrections. The Labette County Sheriff's Office is assisting in the investigation. An area church is doing what it can to help those less fortunate in this wintry weather. KOAM Zach Dodge has what they're doing and how they could use more help from the community.
Carterville resident Cheyenne Brooke is passionate about helping the less fortunate.
I love this community. I adore this community. So anything that I can help to enhance it or, you know, give better opportunities, that's what I'm here for.
That's why she was one of the first to step up for a pretty important project at her church.
Ever since the weather turned crazy and it started icing, we opened our church as a warming center for while we're here.
Carterville First Baptist Church is offering a warm place out of the cold for the homeless or anyone that needs a reprieve from the bone-chilling temps, complete with snacks, a warm coffee, and a blanket they can take with them. The goal is to fill a gap in the community where there's not many places doing the same.
That's another reason why we decided to open that up here, is like Webb City and Carterville and Oronogo, Carthage. Yeah, we don't really have much.
We just want them to know this is a safe place, you know. There's no judgment here. They're welcome to come here. We're not going to ask questions.
But right now, they can only have it open from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. because they only have 3 volunteers. So they're looking for more like Cheyenne who are willing to help.
I think we could have it open longer if we had actual people to be here to man it, because we each have things. We have certain programs that we run, and we have things we have to do in the afternoons. So if we had people that could be here to help run it, it would probably be easier to keep it open a little longer through the day.
Our whole goal is just to care about people, and this is a small way to do it, just opening our doors, turning the heat up, and inviting people in.
The church is also accepting donations of blankets, hygiene products, and snacks. If you want to be a volunteer at the warming station, we have how you can get involved on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Wendy's social media team is celebrating National Roast Day. Well, this was yesterday. It's a day when people mercilessly mock each other, which Wendy's loves doing. They got Pitt State involved yesterday. They took the easy route, pointing out that Pittsburgh, Kansas and Pennsylvania connection, writing, "Incredible. You're a worse Pittsburgh than Pittsburgh." Okay. It's 6:07.
Temperatures today only in the teens, wind chill advisory running all the way until 10 a.m. as we've already had temperatures dip down into the negative numbers. As far as what we're looking at on Futurecast headed into the weekend, light flurries for today into tomorrow. And here in a little bit, we'll break down the larger system trying to work its way in off the Pacific that has a chance to bring us some good snowfall from Sunday into Monday.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, you could have a chance to win free grape nut cereal for a year. Man, that's one of my favorite cereals. Plus, a traveling COVID nurse tells her story on what it's like treating coronavirus patients. And our own Jesse Irwin talks to 2 4-staters about their luck on dating apps.
Yeah, that's right. We spoke with 2 4-staters who gave dating apps a shot, and we'll tell you how their experience went ahead of Valentine's Day. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
In Money Watch this morning, new research from LinkedIn shows nearly half of Black professionals have faced discrimination in the workplace, and many are thinking of leaving their job because they say there is a lack of advancement or growth opportunities at work. Skylar Henry reports.
Shanique Wright believes her name may have kept her from getting job offers. When the family therapist put out a resume using the nickname Charlie, she received more callbacks than when she used her first name.
It seems like it's a little bit difficult for people to either remember my name or pronounce it correctly or remember to pronounce it correctly. And so they would often ask for, well, what's your middle name? What's your, do you have a nickname? Which definitely makes me feel ashamed of my name at times.
In one study, job applicants with ethnic-sounding names were 50% less likely to receive a callback than those with white-sounding names.
The unfortunate fact is that a lot of professionals are starting to feel like that they have to whiten their resume or remove racial descriptors from their resumes.
Andrew McCaskill is a career expert with LinkedIn, which found 25% of black professionals feel they would face retaliation for speaking out about race and inclusion at work.
Black professionals overwhelmingly responded that things that were barriers to their advancement were not having access to mentorship and sponsorship, not feeling a sense of belonging in the workplace, and finally just feeling like that there was no path for them for advancement.
Zachary Nunn says he had to compete harder than white colleagues for the same promotion.
If you're not letting black and brown folks make actual decisions that can impact systemic change, you're not doing anything.
Research from 2019 found black Americans only made up 3.2% of senior leadership roles at large companies, even though 81% of those surveyed said seeing black professionals in leadership makes the workplace feel more inclusive. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
A 2016 study published in Administrative Science Quarterly found job applicants that mask ethnicity on resumes were more likely to get an interview. Mr. Peanut is getting a new home alongside Spam and Skippy. Kraft is selling Planters to Hormel in a $3.35 billion deal. Along with the various nut products, cheese balls, cheese curls, and corn nuts are also included in the sale. Kraft says it wants to focus on its brands with greater growth prospects, like Lunchables. Grape Nuts cereal will be back on shelves next month. Parent company Post Consumer Brands says a weeks-long supply constraint is over. To celebrate, the company is holding a contest to give 10 people free Grape Nuts for a year. Where do I sign up? That's it for Money Watch. We'll be right back.
Rolling up on 617, great time for weather on the 7s. Great time to talk about severe weather. Not only the wind chill advisory that we have right now, but a good system trying to work its way in on Sunday into Monday. So grab your phone. Chances are you either got it with you right now. You're probably go jockeying back and forth while you're watching the weather. And all you got to do is open up your camera. I'm going to keep that up there here for just a little bit and explain. Pop open your camera, walk over your TV screen, take a picture of that QR code right there. And that's going to take you straight to the Skywatch 7 weather app. Now, we're telling you how important it is to have the KOAM weather right on your phone so you can have it right at your fingertips, weather information, set your location even, and so that way you get alerts about weather wherever you may be. Once again, all you got to do is open up your camera on your phone, point it right here at your TV screen. And after this forecast, you're not going to want to miss anything you need to know weather-wise because you're going to have it right there on your phone no matter where you are. And we're going to have this running throughout the course of the show. And so if you're like, I didn't have time, don't worry. We're going to bring it back because it's going to be oh so important here by the time we get to next week. Wind chill advisory for our counties in light blue. Those expire in 10 as we go over to southeast Kansas, a little darker color. It's still a wind chill advisory. It just lasts until noon. It's actually extended a little bit. Now, what we've got as far as what it feels like, we've gotten as low as -11 in Yates Center, -5 in Independence. That's where we're going to the noon hours. Over in southwest Missouri, -4 in both Carthage and Lamar, -1 in Neosho. And that's that expiration time of 10 a.m. Doesn't matter. It's going to be cold all day long. I don't care what time they want everything to expire at. 11 right now from the Freeman Health System sky camera as far as the true temperature goes with a wind chill of -3. And it's thanks in part to that north wind, a little north-northeast angle to it, but it's making a big difference when you walk outside. And these wind chill advisories, they stretch almost from the Red River up to the Canadian border. It has been an impressive polar vortex. That's right, we're going to use the old term, the polar vortex, as it has been able to penetrate into South Texas. It's taken all the freezing precip that we had at the beginning of the week, really running it down to the southeastern portion of the country up to the mid-Atlantic. But this is just super abnormally cold, not only for us, but everybody down right there in the blue and the purple as well. Of course, we're eyeballing the Pacific Northwest. We were talking about that system for Sunday and Monday. So waiting for that low pressure system to kind of make its way inland. Then we can see how much it really wants to pick up precipitation-wise as it makes its way over the Rockies. We are getting some snow up in the northwestern portion of our highlighted counties, like flurries everywhere else, nothing freezing as far as rain or drizzle of that nature, but only in the teens throughout the day. Then as we push overnight, we're talking about the north wind persisting. Temperatures are actually going to be colder for Saturday and Sunday than what we're going to experience today. That's why that Skywatch weather app, oh so important right now. Flurries persist throughout Friday. Saturday, we do see the emergence of some legitimate snow up in the northwest, but really want to pay attention to this down here. The pink, that's the freezing rain. That's what caused all the problems earlier this week. And even though we see the majority of it in northwest Arkansas right here, don't fool yourself. We're going to see some light fall out of that in southern and southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma as well. Pushing off throughout Saturday night. Then we prepare for Sunday. Here's the low pressure that we're waiting on making landfall. And once this thing takes off through the southern plains, it's got a little bit of a beeline in it. Digs in through Oklahoma and Texas, pauses, and then wants to come back up through the northeast, so we get it not only Sunday, but Monday as well. Still too early to talk about true accumulation numbers. We've got to let this thing progress about one more day. But look at these temperatures, 9 and 6 for highs on Valentine's Day and President's Day. Now, speaking of Valentine's Day, let's turn it over to Jesse in Studio C.
Well, over the past decade, dating apps have helped millions of people find all types of love. But how successful can they be? We spoke with two four-state healthcare workers who both decided to give it a try.
We actually met on Bumble. Online app, yeah. So, not too crazy of a story there. It's much more accepted now, I get that. But there is still kind of a weirdness to it. It's, I don't know. It just seems kind of odd that people are just connecting through, without actually meeting, and then it goes from there instead of the other way around.
To me, it's really not a ton different than real life. I mean, people have meet people and they go on great dates and they get married. People meet people and they go on horrible dates and they have a horrible story to tell. So same thing with dating apps. It's some people have good stories, some people have average stories, some people have these awesome stories. Because that day I was like in a good mood swiping, yeah, sure, yeah, sure. Some days I'd be like, no.
And so she kind of joked, she's like, I could have just been in a bad mood that day and completely swiped left on you. And so yeah, it feels a little serendipitous, everything does have to match up just right.
I think under one of the hobbies, Steven put people watching. Mm-hmm. And I messaged, people watching is pretty fun.
That's a great interest.
And it was like right after the new year, so I said, how is 2018 treating you?
And then I said, 4 days in and no monumental screw-ups, so I'll call that a win so far.
For years, I probably didn't put myself out there as much as I should. And so I feel like dating apps allowed me to be a little bit braver behind the scenes and gather my facts before I took the jump and met one-on-one with an individual.
Yeah, she always jokes that we'll write Bumble a letter, to tell them our success story. But honestly, we were kind of both at a point in our lives where we were feeling a little hopeless in the whole dating game, because that does tend to happen, especially the older you get. But yeah, we just connected, and now I plan to make her my wife.
All right, so a little confession. That was in 2019. Jessica and Steve are now married, and last week they actually brought a beautiful baby into the world. Not too bad for a dating app. We'll be right back after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a traveling COVID nurse recently opened up about the difficult and often heartbreaking work of treating coronavirus patients. Her descriptions lay bare just how serious the virus is. One of the disturbing details, she and her colleagues had to use body bags as sheets as they cared for patients. Cassandra Soto reports.
I went to Chicago is where I ended up going. So after that, I went back to Billings in Montana. So then after Billings, I came to Arizona.
Traveling for work may seem fun, but working on the front lines of the COVID ICU is brutal.
I think I had one patient live out of Chicago. I mean, at one point we ran out of linens, but we were just using body bags as sheets anyways, because they were gonna die anyways. We were, loading them into the cooling trucks out in the parking lot, like all that stuff. Like, it was happening. It was real. It wasn't just media blowing it up. Like, we were actually doing these things.
Rickard says one patient she will never forget.
27-year-old male, so he's a year older than I am, intubated with COVID, and we had to withdraw care. So the family decided, after just talking with the doctors, he wasn't going to make it. So I remember on Zoom, we'd make the patient comfortable, do everything, take his breathing tube out, and he died very quickly. And the mom is sobbing and wailing, and I will not ever forget her screams. But then his little brother came in to hug and console his mom, and he looked just like one of my younger brothers. So it was hard because it's like, this could be me.
Bailey grew up in Butte, where her mom counts down the days until her daughter is back in Montana.
I think she's gotten it out of her system, so to speak, and I think she's ready to come home with her experience. So I feel better that it's gone full circle, that she was able to learn about the sadness and the hard parts and grow from that.
Bailey will be back in Great Falls in 3 weeks, working at the Great Falls Clinic, but she says it's time for her to take a break from the COVID ICU.
So I'll be at Great Falls Clinic in the cath lab, which I'm excited for. It's an area that I've always wanted to kind of explore and work in. I just didn't think I'd be doing it this early in my nursing career. I'll miss the ICU, but I'm kind of relieved that I'm almost done. I'm almost done with COVID.
Now, that particular nurse has been working on the road as a COVID nurse for 11 months. We thank her. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
So when we pop up advisories like this, the light blue, the wind chill advisory that runs until 10, that darker offset color there, all that is an expansion of it until the noon hour. What that means is dangerously cold temperatures. If you don't put on hat, mittens, 8 layers, what that means is the weather this cold can actually damage exposed skin and do so in as little as half an hour. It's all that it takes, just half an hour. Best thing to do today is just stay inside, down to -11 right now in Iola, and temperatures only in the teens with a good north wind that'll gust up to 20 miles per hour. Light flurries throughout the course of our Friday, early Saturday. And we lock in, keep it on that system for Sunday into Monday. That's why it's oh so important to keep on checking the old Skywash weather app.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, several people have died and dozens are injured after a car pileup due to icy roads. And for something to talk about on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, we're asking, how did you meet your significant other? And if you're married, where did that proposal happen? But first, a check on your forecast.
That's a shame because I was going to voice it and ad-lib it all at the same time, and I didn't get a chance to. Wind chill advisory at the bottom, and at the bottom of your screen, we've got closings. Now, our closings not as expansive as what we've had earlier this week, but still a fair amount of them, and that includes Joplin R8 district canceling class for this Friday. And remember, KOAMnewsnow.com, not only complete list of closings, but also updated road conditions. Number one thing this morning is staying inside, and if you are outside, make sure you have multiple layers on. There's our temperatures right now, ranging from about 7 to 15, but let's talk about what your body thinks it is outside. From the Freeman Health System Sky Camera in Joplin, we've got a wind chill right now of -3. Check out the top of your screen, 11 below in Iola, 4 below in Carthage, and 6 below in Independence as the cold front just continues to work its way down to the deep south. We haven't seen anything like this in years. Got some light flurries that will establish themselves for today and into tomorrow. Not looking at anything severe. We don't have to worry about the freezing precip by any means. It's been actually Saturday, despite the fact that it's going to be freezing cold once again. We do see a little snow to the northwest. Look at the bottom of your screen though. That's what we need to keep our eyes on Saturday. And some of that freezing rain trying to reemerge in northwest Arkansas and skirt through southern southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma as well. And then we talk about the larger system. That's actually going to make its way here for Sunday afternoon. Drop a fair amount of snow all the way into Monday, single-digit daily highs, waiting on this thing to really establish itself on land and make its way toward us to see how much precipitation it can pull in before it starts dropping here. And Saturday we're going to have a better gauge. It's got to get over the Rockies first and dig down into the southwest, because then it's going to stall out and then come back up toward us.
Yeah, we better be careful there, that's for sure. A lot to look at.
The best thing to do would be to download the Skywatch weather app and just keep it on your fingertips all weekend long.
That would be smart, and it's easy to do too.
This is one dude's opinion. So all you got to do is grab your phone right now, pop open your camera, and take a picture of that QR code that you see on the right-hand side of your screen, because that's going to take you straight to the app for you to download. And once again, with what we're looking at, with not only the extreme cold, but also our Sunday, Monday system could be of the utmost importance here by the time we can get through this into next week.
All right, thanks, Michael. The impeachment trial of former President Trump now heads to the defense team. After 2 days of arguments by the Democratic House managers, Trump's lawyers say they only need a few hours to present their case today. CBS's Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with details.
We humbly ask you to convict.
House managers concluded their arguments in the impeachment trial of former President Trump with a warning.
Is there any political leader in this room who believes that if he is ever allowed by the Senate to get back into the Oval Office, Donald Trump would stop inciting violence to get his way? Would you bet the lives of more police officers on that?
On Thursday, Democrats showed how Mr. Trump's supporters were inspired by his rhetoric when they stormed the U.S. Capitol.
I thought I was following my president. I thought I was following what we were called to do.
In that powder keg that he had created, he struck a match and he aimed it straight at this building.
Mr. Trump's lawyers now have up to 16 hours over 2 days to present their defense, but they say they'll only need a few hours to rebut the Democrats' case.
The evidence they have, under no circumstances, would make out a case for incitement.
Today, the defense is expected to argue that it's too late to convict Mr. Trump now that he's out of office, and will also use some of his own words on January 6th.
To peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Louisiana Republican Bill Cassidy says the former president's team does need to answer some questions.
If one of the charges is that you should have called out people and you didn't, even though it was clear that the police officers were under assault, please explain that.
If the defense rests today, the final vote could come this weekend. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
After the defense rests, there will be a 4-hour question and answer session, which would likely happen tomorrow. If neither side calls any witnesses, there would then be 2 hours of closing arguments before a final vote. Missouri health officials say their optimistic efforts to provide COVID-19 vaccines will expand soon, both in terms of increased vaccine availability and the number of approved vaccinators. The head of the state health department says next month, Missouri expects to receive a significant amount of a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires only 1 shot. At the same time, vaccinations will begin tomorrow at some Missouri Walmart and Sam's Clubs, and the state will begin using retired healthcare workers to administer those shots. The positive message came as Governor Mike Parson complained to Missouri mayors about constant criticism in the media about the state's vaccination efforts. After an 18-hour manhunt, Parsons, Kansas police arrest a homicide suspect. They say that suspect is 29-year-old Malcolm Odom from Parsons. He was arrested at a house on the 1400 block of Partridge in Parsons. Authorities say he was found hiding under a couch. Police say Odom shot and killed 22-year-old Levi Kendricks early Thursday morning. Police say Odom was put on parole and had a felony warrant issued for his arrest by the Kansas Department of Corrections. The Labette County Sheriff's Office is assisting in the investigation. Well, during the pandemic, people started staying home for dinner more. And charcuterie boards have grown in popularity as a result. There's a few examples there. There's a business in Joplin which makes these boards, including a special one just for Valentine's Day. The owners of 417 Foodies say all of their boards are designed for take-home style ordering and contain meats, cheeses, fruits, and honey, among other things. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, icy roads leave several people dead in Fort Worth, Texas. For our Something to Talk About on the KOAM News Now Facebook page, we've been asking, how did you meet your significant other? And if you're married, where did that proposal happen? We let you weigh in. But first, it's 6:37.
Update here, Tanya. We were talking about the darker offset color there throughout southeast Kansas. The light blue, well, it's up until Friday, today. Look at this. Gonna run that to tomorrow at wind chill advisory. Gonna run it all day long. Gonna run it all Saturday morning. Best thing to do is honestly stay inside. Our cold weather doesn't go anywhere. Some flurries Saturday morning. Watch out for freezing rain for our far southern counties, single digits. And breaking down that storm system that's going to get here on Sunday and Monday and drop some snow. Be back right after this.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, the scene like something out of a movie. Several killed and dozens more injured after a massive pileup in Fort Worth, Texas. Officials say the wreckage is due to poor road conditions from freezing rain and ice. Daryl Forges has the details.
Cars on top of cars and jackknife semis. Fort Worth police say this pileup involves 75 to 100 vehicles over roughly a mile-long stretch.
In my almost 20 years in the service, this is the first time ever that I see anything like this in Fort Worth.
The massive pileup happened early Thursday morning on Interstate 35 in Fort Worth. Several dead, dozens more rushed to the hospital. The sea of wrecked vehicles due to freezing rain and icy road conditions.
First responders had difficulty actually getting to the vehicles. As they were making their way on the freeway to get to those vehicles, it is very slippery.
First responders facing slippery conditions and also finding ways to keep victims warm from temperatures in the mid-20s.
We were able to get a couple of buses from the fire department to actually put some of the victims of the crash who were not patients but could have become patients because of hypothermia into the bus so they got out of the cold environment.
After what first responders are calling a treacherous accident, some drivers lucky enough to already reunite with and hug their loved ones.
Please keep in your prayers the families who have lost a loved one in this massive fatality accident.
I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Such a sad scene there. That's a look at today's top national story. Let's check back in with Michael for or something to talk about.
Let's get straight to it, because I got good stories here on the KOAM News Now Facebook page about how you met and how you proposed. Jody Routledge Leonard. We met on Facebook playing Farmville. Been together for 7, almost 8 years. Jody says we are soulmates. I greatly appreciate everybody sharing these stories. Aneva Fitzgerald, blind date. Proposal happened in a Chinese restaurant. Get this, been married 27 years this June. Guy, I'm gonna let it sit, man. I think it's just an appropriate day for that joke. It's about if his wife would close her eyes and begin to fall asleep, he would shake her and yell, "Don't you die on me," and everybody would clap when she woke up. I got a kick. Rocky Cunningham's, I love this. Y'all need to be more specific. Current or ex-wife number 1 through 5? Love you, Aunt Pat. Janice Gimlin, met in an online dating app, discovered on our first date we live just 2 blocks from each other. We aren't married, but congratulations, Janice, as she got engaged over Christmas. And Julie Cates, we met teaching together at Auburn University. I was sick in bed when he proposed, best nearly 25 years of my life. Lost him to melanoma in 2014. Julie, I want to thank you for sharing that story. Of course, we are sorry for your loss and whatnot, but that is tremendous. And I want to cap off Julie's story with this. I'm teaching at Auburn University. Julie, from all of us here at KOAM to you, War Eagle. KOAM News Now Facebook page. I don't know if it's weather, I don't know if it's COVID, I don't know if it's combo. 85% of you say no. No plans for Valentine's Day. You can make your voice heard. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be back with birthdays and anniversaries right after this.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Specialist Joe Reeder, who was a member of the United States National Guard. He served from 2004 to 2006 in Iraq with the 891st Unit out of Iola, Kansas. His hometown, Bronson, Kansas. We are proud to salute Joe Reeder, our four-state hero.
In the RJC, now the big number 3. Riley Jean, you go get him. She's in Columbus.
All right, and we've got Atticus Kerr celebrating birthday number 3 this year in Baxter Springs.
Cool haircut, Atticus. I like it. All right, everybody who's roaming the kindergarten halls at Frank Layden Elementary in the NAC, I want you to track down that dude right there. Socially distance. Make sure you got your mask on. But I want everybody to wish Gunnar Martin a big 6th birthday. He's in Weir.
All right, Colton Wurtzberger turning 8 years old in Pittsburgh.
H squared, Hadley Hilburn. She is celebrating her 11th birthday. Hadley, a very happy birthday to you.
All right.
Oh, Seneca, look at that bow. How cool is that bow? The SEN and the ECA.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome, Hadley. Little Seneca Indian pride right there.
Like it. Good eye there, Michael. Maverick Sharp turning 13 years old this year. Maverick is celebrating in Parsons, Kansas.
Brady Ball, a happy 16th birthday. Love the balloons there, Brady. She's in Neosha.
All right, I like the balloons too. Lindsay Faye Goodwin turning 16 years old this year. Happy birthday to Lindsay. Love Dad, Mom, and Brandon.
All right, these birthday wishes come from Uncle Paul and Aunt Ashley, and that's for Paige Sinks as she turns 18. Happy birthday, Paige.
And there we go. We've got Dylan Wilson.
Who that is?
Looks like he's about to go airborne or something. Dylan is 21, up in Lawrence, Kansas. Former KOAM sports videographer. Right here, KOAM. Happy birthday, Dylan. Hope you're having a great one.
You know, we talk about those essential workers that keep our grocery stores going and whatnot, and it just so happens that Zach Sieber happens to be one of them. Zach, a happy 24th birthday to you. I've run into him before out at Dillon's. He does a marvelous job, so if you're out and about today and you got to go to Dillon's, make sure you say hi to Zach. He's the knacker.
Always pleasant to work with there. Happy birthday, Zach. Love seeing your face. David Lawson is celebrating the Big 5-0, showing off his muscles there. David in Pittsburgh.
He's going to lift that log by himself. Is that a rock?
He is. He's holding it. He's got the world on his shoulders there.
Shannon Hartman, a 54th birthday. Well, candid cotton action right there. Shannon, have a marvelous birthday in Baxter Springs.
I wonder what's on the side of that picture that's cut off. Oh, we will only guess. And Flores Hoosier in Fredonia, turning 55 years old. Looking great there, and happy birthday.
Oh, the party's just started in the Donia because Teresa Apollo, she turned 67 in Fredonia. Looks like Teresa has a new one to dote over as well. So number 1, Teresa, happy birthday. Number 2, congratulations.
All right, and Nancy White celebrating birthday number 73 this year. Happy birthday, Nancy in Fredonia. A lot of birthdays in Fredonia today.
Now, Miss Wilma Dooley, I want you to know that these special birthday wishes come from the kids, the grandkids, and the great-grandkids. Happy birthday, Miss Dooley in Columbus.
The Hawkins and Gerard are celebrating 16 years of wedded bliss. What a wonderful picture there of Bob and Robin Hawkins. Congratulations.
25 years for Kevin and Peggy Hall. That's a good looking picture right there from the Halls. They're in Fort Scott.
I like that picture there. John and Bonnie Mozingo celebrating their 49th anniversary. Little throwback picture there. Looking good there. John and Bonnie are in Chetopa.
You've heard us talk about Will York before. He's a talented graphic artist that puts all these pictures together and makes this birthday list complete. Well, it just so happens that that gentleman on the right, that's Will's brother. Walter, You did a great job putting up with him, man. Great job. Happy 30th birthday to Walter York in Crestline. Kathy Leonard, she's celebrating a birthday in Columbus. Happy birthday to Kathy. Lisa Nutt, happy birthday in Frontenac. And Ryan Long, we wouldn't forget you, my man. Happy birthday to Ryan as he just celebrated his 37th. Happy birthday, happy anniversary to all. Now, here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
That's right. You can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up. And once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
One more comment I wanted to pass along, and thank you for all the engagement and the wonderful tales that you've told us about how you met and how the proposal went down. And this comes from Brandy Sliger. Brandy says, we met through mutual friends at their house, been together 15 years, and he proposed in the Joplin Flea Market parking lot. She gives a little LOL to that. Gotta love it and him. Absolutely tremendous stories that you all shared with us today, and I greatly appreciate your engagement, Tanya.
All right, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Former President Trump's defense team begins its arguments today in Trump's Senate impeachment trial. House managers serving as prosecutors wrapped up their case, urging senators to convict on the single charge of incitement of insurrection after the attack on the Capitol. They argued the former president poses a future threat to democracy if he's acquitted and not barred from running for office again. Missouri health officials say their optimistic efforts to provide COVID-19 vaccines will expand soon, both in terms of increased vaccine availability and the number of approved vaccinators. The head of the state health department says next month, Missouri expects to receive a significant amount of a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires only one shot. After an 18-hour manhunt, Parsons, Kansas police arrest a homicide suspect. They say that suspect is 29-year-old Malcolm Odom from Parsons. Police say Odom shot and killed 22-year-old Levi Kendricks early Thursday morning. Police say Odom was out on parole and had a felony warrant issued for his arrest by the Kansas Department of Corrections. Lubbock County Sheriff's Office is assisting in the investigation. With those cold temps set to get even worse, an area church is stepping up to help people in need. Carterville First Baptist Church has started a warming station in its sanctuary. People can come in to get warm, get a hot coffee or snack, and then leave with a blanket to take with them. Volunteers at the church say they wanted to help fill a gap since not many others are providing warming stations in the community. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Those warming stations becoming oh so important, not only for today, but all the way through the weekend, as the wind chill advisory lasts all through today, the darker color lasting all the way through Saturday. An idea that the cold is not going away as wind chills have dipped to low -11. And our daily high for the afternoon, actual temperature, we're just talking about teens as the north wind will gust in excess of 20 miles per hour. Pick up a little snow in the far northwest on Saturday. Freezing rain along and south of I-44 on Saturday as well. Still looking at the big one, Sunday and a Monday. Those weather models starting to get a little bit closer together with some agreement. And plan on seeing snow. Probably making snowmen by the time Monday's over.
Ooh. That's exciting. We can only get the warmer temperatures to go with it. All right, well, coming up today at noon.
It don't work that way.
You're telling me if it's 33 degrees, we don't get snow?
It don't work that way.
Could we have the snow in 30 degrees instead of 6 degrees? That's all I'm asking for. The kids are home from school on Monday.
It's not going to go anywhere.
I want mid-50s.
It's going to be so hard to go play in the snow.
Once it hits the ground and blankets the 4 states, it's not going to melt.
All right. Well, coming up today at noon, we're going to be making spring rolls in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Erwin, what you got coming up on Fox 14, my man?
Well, we got an adorable story of how dating apps can work out, or, just basically, I mean, look, I could sit here and plug it. Join us on Fox 14 here in a second. I'll show you.
It's a marvelous Valentine's Day story. Also, if you want to download that QR app, we're going to have it for you over on Fox 14. Have a great, safe weekend. We'll do this all again on Monday morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.